Hello and welcome to my channel. In my last video I have shown you my rune board, my new oracle that I have developed, and I came up with a lot of ideas how to use this board as an oracle. And fortunately enough, I found people who accept that I make videos to give you examples how this is working. So I'm not going to use too much time for huge explanations. You can always contact me if you want to know further details of the board. The only thing that I am going to explain, I'm going to explain the board slightly also for the person who asks for the reading. And this time I'm going to use the Sister Crow oracle, which is an oracle both made of cards and of stones, and I'm going to use the stones on my rune board, where you have different aspects of the crow, like for example, very simply, the egg, which stands for beginnings. And I'm going to use those stones to make the oracle for that person, the reading for that person. So in this moment, thank you very much to give me this opportunity to show people how this is working. So let me switch cameras and go to the board. So the board in itself is quite big, so it was a little bit difficult to get it completely on camera. If a rune is going to lie outside of the camera frame, I'm going to shift the board very simply so that I can show everything. Normally the runes, you find them in 3 ads, so 3 times 8 runes. So I built this up in the net of the rune net of the web of weird, which shows us things about our lives. For me, it's a little bit, you could say that the knots are spinning the thread, but you are making your own net, your own life with it. And this is actually the way you can use it with the stones falling onto the board. So just give me a moment to pick them all up. There will be 12 stones, so I'm going only to use the ones that show their faces, and the other ones we take them out. We have some who fall around, which means that they are outside of the web and may not be important for the moment being. So this actually leaves us to simply 3 stones. I'm going to switch over to you because actually I want to talk to the person I make this reading for. So first of all, you find the beginning, the stone with the egg, the beginning in Raido. Raido has different aspects that I like to mention in this way. It is on one side, it is voyaging. It has a lot to do with Rad, and Rad in German means a wheel. So the voyage of our own life. And this one is showing you that maybe you are standing in the beginning of something new. So that in all what is happening in your life, and which seems to be something very normal and maybe even boring, this may be an invitation, or this is an invitation to tell you to just stop for a moment and to check if there's not something that is about to be born, to hatch and step into a voyage into maybe a spiritual, or maybe you are going to change your job or whatever, that you are not completely aware at this moment, but what is about to come, and that you have the right to get out of this eggshell, this kind of life that seems to be enclosing you. And while it gave you a certain safety during a certain time, the eggshell is not big enough for whatever you want to come out of. So consider a new step, not simply a next step along what happened in your life for the moment being, but consider a completely new step. If there is a plan you have been in your head for that you had in your head for a long time, please try to put this plan into action. This is a good moment for it. The other two stones, I'm going to talk about them one after another, but as they are both lying on the symbol of Wirt, so which is really the core of our life, the core meaning of our life, things that maybe we don't understand, but which is very important. It is important that they lie that they are lying on this, even if they are still in contact with some runes. But it really gives you an idea of whatever this is. Maybe it is life itself, the energy of life itself, that is pushing you into a direction that you will become aware of, but you're not really aware of where this is going to head. It doesn't matter. Make the first step. Trust this feeling that you have to make a new step, to make something new, to make this trip, whatever kind of trip it is, into your life, in your life, even if it gets you out of borders that people are setting up around you or that you are setting up yourself. Just trust this feeling and this idea that everything is connected. The second rune, the second image, is the wing of the crow, and the wing of the crow is actually warning us from things we're trying to fly away from, to free ourselves from, we try to flee from. And it is lying on one side, it is lying on two runes in a certain way. So first of all you have Ingus, which has a lot to do with something, well, that is growing inside. It has a lot to do with the idea of a kind of pregnancy. That doesn't mean a physical pregnancy. That can be an idea that is just a nagging thought maybe that is going on and that is going on. And Dagas is the rune of breakthrough, which can tell us that this idea is going to come through. And the moment you have the wings in there, it warns you that maybe fleeing from all this doesn't function, because it might be exactly what is pushing you to make a new step. I don't know, I simply can go for my feeling, and my gut feeling is telling me that there is something, as if there is something in your life that went on for too long into one direction, and in a certain way, a little bit as if you stand up in the day and you say it's Groundhog Day a little bit, and it is now your time to break through from all this normal stuff, this routine that is in there. The routine that is working to give you a certain safety may not be working to give you what you need in your life. On the other side, you have the two crows. The two crows have a lot to do with relationships. So you actually have them nearly. So it's not in Berkana, because I don't know if you see it. There is the Berkana that stops. So you have it in two runes, which is Evas. Evas has again a lot to do with motion, with action. Evas is the rune of the horse. And when it turns up in my readings, I normally have this feeling that I am linked to the goddess Rhiannon and Epona. That's the equivalency of my region. And I have the feeling that I just get quite a kick, sort of, you just move now and do that. And this may be a relationship with a person. That can also be that doesn't mean to be a romantic relationship. This can be a relationship into the direction of working together with someone, or maybe because it is lying on the word symbol, maybe it is your relationship with your spirituality, with the things that we don't see but that we sense inside of us. And concerning that, it is also lying on the Manas rune, which has a lot to do with us, with what we are doing, not because we want to end up with a result, but because of who we are. And this is always, for me, this having a good communication with yourself. So it is only when you really stand for yourself, when you become aware who you are, that you can break that eggshell, and you can go on your voyage, on what your life really is. Each life is a voyage, but we can just sit in a train and go back and forth from job home and from home to job, or we become aware that it is far more, and it has not simply this reality to live in, because it stays. You have one of the lines that is not used at all, actually. So you have either, you have them in all that has to do with, let's call it universal laws, or it has something to do with the physical, with the material life line, or well, line, or the 8 ads. So it is really become aware of how you function, and how you work for the spiritual realms and with the spiritual realms, and it will be a disclosure. It will break that egg up in your physical life, and you will have a completely different way and a different stance, to come back to the horse, in your physical life. The way they are so close to the web of weird, I hope this is understandable when I am explaining it like this, is really get into that communication with those other worlds, with this other realm, with what we do not know. Go through it maybe by becoming aware of your subconscious, your unconscious, and then going further into what is surrounding us and what is not visible. All those energies, become aware that they are connected, the same way that the word symbol is connected to the web that you are creating for your life, and get into a good communication. But the moment you start to flee from what might not be the happy thoughts of it, so this breakthrough, which can be something very painful, the moment or the time you keep trying to flee from those parts, you will not be capable of getting out of that egg and becoming, well, the person staying with the crows, the bird, and to have the possibility to really go for it and open your wings and fly wherever you are really heading for. For me, it has a lot to do, whatever routine you seem to become wary of, don't try to flee from it in that way, but try to find a way to get in a lower level, but not lower as lesser level, but a deeper level. Find the way to communicate with those deeper levels inside of yourself, to find a completely different strength, to break free from whatever eggshell you live in for the moment being. So I do hope this makes sense to you, and thank you again for giving me the opportunity to use this reading for a video.